Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar on how to safely reach more local shoppers during the pandemic. My name is Aisling and I am a marketing associate with Pointy from Google. A small bit of background on me. I have been working with Pointy for a little over 3 years now, and we were acquired by Google in early 2020. Funnily enough, I first heard about Pointy from seeing a Pointy sticker actually in the window of one of my local pharmacies here in Dublin. I began researching the product, and yeah, the rest, as they say, is history. So let's quickly run through the agenda for this webinar. So we'll start off by speaking about the current retail landscape and how COVID-19 has changed shopper behaviours. We will then highlight some simple but effective retail innovations that we've seen over the past year. We'll then move on to how Google can help and the tools that are available to you to safely reach more shoppers. And this part will have a focus on Pointy from Google. And lastly, we will leave time at the end for a live Q&A. But if you do have any questions along the way, pop them in the chat and my colleague Lisa will be there to answer them for you. So let's jump in by setting the scene with what the current retail landscape looks like. So how COVID-19 has changed these shopper behaviours and I suppose what this means for local retail. So as you can see here, Google searches for supporting local businesses grew by over 20,000% since 2019. And I've even noticed this shift, in myself as a shopper. So naturally, as you can imagine, through working for Pointy, I have always tried my best to support local where possible. However, it has definitely been heightened in this past year. And I think it has for most people. 67% of global shoppers confirm inventory online before going to the store to buy it. And this trend may continue to increase over time. So shoppers would like the reassurance that they'll find what they're looking for before they leave their home. And especially now when shoppers are planning and consolidating their shop visits much more than ever before. Searches for available near me have more than doubled globally year over year. And this really just underscores the importance of real-time and accurate inventory information. So customers, of course, they want to know whether a store offers click and collect and when its doors open and close, but more importantly, they care about what's in stock. So a question to ask yourselves maybe is that if a shopper searches for your store, will they be able to easily browse the products that you have in store when they're doing their research at home before making the trip to complete the purchase? And maybe just keep that in your mind as we go through the rest of the presentation. So to start off with, one thing that has certainly come to light over the past year is the innovativeness of local retailers. So shop owners have come up with many creative ways to connect with their shoppers and provide them with the products that they need. So what do shoppers want and how are their expectations changing? Availability, local convenience, and safety when shopping, these three have certainly become major priorities over the last 12 months. And as you can see here in the first point, shoppers want a quick, safe way for their needs to be met and their orders to be fulfilled. And what we just want to stress is that adding a new fulfillment option to your store doesn't have to be expensive. Creativity does go a long way. And we see this here in this example. So in the past holiday season, so in 2020 holiday season, Pointy user Papilio at Heritage, they sent out beautifully wrapped letterbox gifts. So these were gifts that were selected carefully in the store, and they were selected because they are going to fit through the recipient's letterbox. So there's, no need to worry about the physical exchange at the doorstep. And this is just, one example of creativity when it comes to fulfillment options. Let's move on now to take a look at the ways which Google can help your store and the tools that you can use to safely reach more shoppers. Again, just bear with me when I just begin by briefly setting the scene here. Even prior to the pandemic, the in-store shopping experience often began long before shoppers arrived at a store. So as you can see here, 90% of global shoppers in a recent survey said that they used online search prior to going into a store. And we're seeing a real shift towards this kind of behavior in that people are, researching stores, products, and planning their visits much more than ever before. And although the pandemic has certainly accelerated digital adoption and online sales are growing, it is expected that most purchases will still be made in stores by 2024. So 78% in stores versus 22% online. So the research shows that retailers with a strong digital offering will gain additional sales in the next 5 years, even if customers do choose to buy in store. So this really emphasizes the importance of a seamless and integrated retail experience across online and offline. So the opportunity to physically engage with customers in the real world is one of the many things that makes physical locations or gives physical locations a competitive advantage. So I know this past year has not been easy in any respect for non-essential stores who had to stay closed for the vast majority of it. However, we are by no means giving up on the in-store shopping experience. So, for impatient shoppers, stores still rule. So, nearly 80% of shoppers will go to a store to buy when they have an item that they need or want immediately. So, shoppers are increasingly demanding and impatient. For example, global searches for in stock have grown by more than 700% year over year. Shoppers favor the in store experience for that immediate gratification. And here again, we see availability and local convenience coming to the forefront. 61% of people say that they prefer to shop at a brand with a physical store. So shopping in physical stores, it's more emotional, it's more social, it's more connected. So, I suppose shopping in physical stores allows people to try stuff on, understand the real look of a given product, and get a clearer sense of value. It also, on the retailer side of things, it allows retailers to get direct feedback from your customers about, what they like and what they don't like. And these are things that they may not send, for example, in a feedback form online or anything like that. I spoke to one of our Pointy retailers, Neil E. Jarrett, and he has a store called Opulence of Southern Pines over in the US. And it's a homeware store. And he put it very well. And he said, for a store like ours, customers like to come in, have a nice experience, and smell all the fragrances. It's why shopping in a local store is so engaging. So, with all of this in mind, let's move on then to our first recommendation. So, if you don't already have a business profile on Google, I strongly recommend that you set one up. It's free. And over the next few slides, I will show why it is so important for your store to have one. So there's no need to answer this question out loud, but maybe just think, about the last large purchase that you made over the last couple of years. Did you start the purchase by visiting a store and talking to a member of staff, or did you start the purchase by researching online? And I'll bet, that many, if not most of you, started online. And that's a common approach people take these days. And it's for all types of purchases, not just the large ones as I mentioned. And here, you can see billions of local searches happen globally each month, and 4 out of 5, or 80% of consumers, use search engines to find information about relevant stores. So what happens if someone looks for your business on Google? So if you take a look at the animation on the right, showing an example of what happens if someone looks for a clothes shop. So once you type in clothes shop near me, you'll see a list of results. Then, you can click on one of these results and you see a business profile showing the information about the shop. So it'll be the same for your kind of business. So for example, a shopper might look for hardware store near me, or your business name directly on maps or on search, and eventually they'll reach your business profile. And you then, as the owner of this business, can control the business information that users see on that business profile. So next we'll touch on what kind of business information you can publish and why you should manage your profile. I'm sure most of us here have all searched for a store online to maybe check their opening hours or to get their phone number and their business profile is where we would look for that information. So you can add all the important information about your store, like your contact details, opening hours. You can have reviews on there, updates, products, and more to your business profile. So I'll give you some stats to back up the importance of having an up-to-date business profile. So an up-to-date profile, they're 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. And up-to-date profiles are 70% more likely to attract location visits and 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. So what exactly does a typical business profile look like? So this is what it looks like on mobile, where most of your shoppers will be looking at it. So once you've created your free business profile on Google, do make sure that it's updated with helpful information about your store. Like, again, as I said, your contact information, your opening hours, a description, a photo, and a link to your website if you have one. So if you don't have a business profile on Google, I would recommend that you get started and set one up. And you can do that by visiting google.com/business. If you are completely new to Google My Business, you will click Manage Now and follow the instructions to get started. And if you already have an account, you can just click Sign In to update your profile. And just wanted to drop this in, so don't forget to update your profile with maybe your updated hours at the moment, whether your store is open or temporarily closed, a COVID-19 update for your customers, and you can add the safety measures you're taking during the pandemic. So, with searches for curbside pickup growing by more than 3,000% globally since last year, it's really never been more important to let customers know how they can shop with you. So whether you're offering click and collect, in-store shopping, or your delivery options, that can all be added to your business profile. So our second recommendation then is to get a website report. So I suppose, with safety concerns and lockdown prohibiting a lot of in-store shopping, shoppers are taking, their age-old window shopping online to digital window shopping. And, as shoppers move from bricks to clicks, now could be a great time to invest in your digital presence and create a website or indeed optimize your existing one. So your website could show your inventory, business information, and updates. You could even consider maybe starting a blog or posting useful customer-facing content. So we've seen a lot of this over the last year. So some examples might be, a hardware store posting DIY tutorials, or maybe if you're a sports store, you could record and post workout videos. All these things that are just, as I say, useful content for the customers. So if you already have a website and you're looking for tips to optimize it, you can visit growmystore.thinkwithgoogle.com. All you have to do then is enter your store's website, the industry type, and if you sell in-store or online. And then you'll get a report and tips for improving and strengthening your website. So this will cover many different areas, such as perhaps product information, store details, security, if it's mobile friendly, and customer service. So now we'll move on to our third recommendation. And this one is that if you haven't already, look into getting your products online. So as we have mentioned a couple of times already, every day shoppers are researching products online, and you can attract these shoppers to your physical store by displaying your products on Google. Pointy from Google automatically adds your products to Google just as you scan them at the register. So as you're scanning barcodes at the register, Pointy from Google will add those products onto Google for you. And it's as simple as that. So Pointy works in the background of your normal day-to-day running of the store. I suppose the problem that Pointy is aiming to solve is that a lot of local retailers don't actually have their inventory listed on Google. So shoppers are turning to Google to find information about stores nearby. They're turning to Google for answers on where to buy a product locally. However, oftentimes local retailers like yourselves unfortunately just are not appearing in these searches. And that's really where Pointy can help. So I'll now just play a short video explaining the Pointy service before we go on to it in more detail further on.
Pointy from Google helps shoppers find your store and the products you stock when they're searching on Google. When you sell a product and scan it at the register, Pointy pulls its correct title, image, and description from its barcode and adds it to surfaces across Google. This can help shoppers find your products in search results, maps, and the business profile on Google. You can connect to Pointy in two ways. If your POS is supported, get the app for free. Otherwise, get a Pointy box to plug in between your barcode scanner and POS. With more shoppers than ever researching online, help them find your brick and mortar store with Pointy from Google.
Great. So, as you have just heard, Pointy lets you display your products on Google. So, this way, when shoppers are searching online for a specific product or a store using near me searches, they will have the potential to see your store and the products that you sell. So, with Pointy, your products can show up in several different places around Google, which I will go through with you further on in the presentation. But first of all, I just wanted to play a short testimonial video that we have from one of our US-based hardware stores, Crest Hardware. And I think it's very important and it's useful for people to see, our own retailers talking about the service. So I'll play that for you now.
My name is Joe Franchina. I'm the owner here at Crest Hardware and Urban Garden Center here in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, New York City. My dad and my uncle started the store across the street from our current location, and it was a small little hole-in-the-wall shop, but it had a lot of heart, and it slowly and surely became a huge part of the community, no matter what its size was. I have no idea where to start with saying how many products we carry in here. It's probably somewhere around 20,000, 25,000. Having all of this inventory, it's a challenge, especially for a small business that doesn't have this whole department that can just focus on inventory management the entire time. So having Pointy at our registers and getting all of those stats back is a tremendous help. It really gives us a lot of insight as to what we should be carrying, and what time of the year we should be carrying that stuff, because in hardware and in gardening, things are seasonal. I wouldn't even know where to start with trying to get these products online without something like Pointy helping me out. I don't even know. I don't want to think about where I would have to start. That's what made the investment of Pointy a no-brainer. My favorite thing about Pointy is really not having to do much. That's the best part. I don't have to add it too much to my day-to-day. It's working in the background, and it's always working. What made me pull the trigger on adding Pointy to our day-to-day here is it was so low impact. I mean, I've taken risks on more expensive things and had them blow up in my face, but the initial investment was so small. So why not try it out and see if it can really help us kind of grow. I don't know why any other small business like mine or not like mine would say no to having this. It should be part of the principles of opening a small business. Plug this sucker into your USB to your point of sale system and let it ride. Just stop thinking about it and just make that investment and utilize it. It's an amazing tool, and it's only going to make your store a better place. Simple as that.
So you may have heard Joey mentioning a small investment to get started with Pointy. However, you do not have to worry about that because as part of our COVID-19 response, the core Pointy service, it's available at no charge for all eligible stores in Ireland. And this is up until the end of September of this year. So on that note, let's continue on with where your products can show up with Pointy. So firstly, your products will be uploaded onto your Pointy page. So the Pointy page is automatically created when you sign up to the service. The Pointy page essentially is an online catalog that shows your products, and it requires no upkeep on your end. So as I mentioned before, as you scan your products, the information is pulled from the UPC or manufacturer barcodes. It's matched to an image and description from our database, and it's uploaded onto your Pointy page. So I just wanted to bring you through an example of a Pointy page. So here you can see Feely's Total Health Pharmacy's Pointy page. So here you will have individual product listings as well as a retailer profile. So again, here you can show all the information about your store. So your opening hours, your phone number, your address, and a photo of the store. You can also see that the products have a stock status label. So these include in stock, unknown, and not in stock. These are based off your scanning frequency. So essentially what that means is that as you're scanning the products, the machinery kind of learns how often these products are scanned, whether they're fast moving, slow moving, and it makes a stock estimation based on that. Then if we just scroll down the page a little bit more, there's also a social sharing option. So you can share your whole Pointy page, or you can share individual products to your social pages. So say, in this case, it's Facebook, but you can put in all your socials there. So whether it's Instagram, Twitter, whatever it might be. And then as well, the Pointy page can be linked to and from your website. So this can basically act as a live product catalog linked out on your website. So you can see here that they've done that with linking it to feelyspharmacytuam.ie. So that is the Pointy page. That's the first place your products are going to come up. And just again, as I've mentioned, I do like to bring in our own retailer, their quotes, their, what they have to say about the service. So as you just saw Feely's Total Health Pharmacy Pointy page, let's see what John Feely had to say. So what he said was that Pointy has allowed us to light a path to our store for many new customers to discover our unique range of products and services. It has put us in reach of an audience online that would often pass us by. So let's move on then. We've talked about the Pointy page is the first place your products will appear. And then secondly, your products can appear directly on the business profile on Google. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm sure we've all searched for a store to check the opening hours, to get their phone number, whatever it might be. So now imagine how much more beneficial it would be if we could browse the products that that store stocks directly from that business profile. So as we all now know, customers are researching stores and products before making the trip. So this is really a great solution to show them what's available in store. So the See What's in Store feature, it's a new feature that's launching in Ireland very soon, and we are so excited to bring this to our Irish retailers. It has been live over in the States and Canada for a while, so we are just so excited to be bringing this to Ireland. We hope a lot of you will be excited about it too. So again, as you scan your products, Pointy submits them to Google. These products then display on the See What's in Store module on the business profile. And then when this is clicked, it opens onto a Google hosted storefront, and this will show more information about the product. And just to note here, you might see in the example there, Philomena's Pharmacy, she has prices listed. But for this, this feature, you can choose whether you would like to show your pricing or not. So it's an optional It's optional for you, and you can just do that all through your Pointy dashboard, which I'll tell you about further on. So again, I just wanted to show an example of a store using this See What's in Store feature and how their products are displayed on their business profile. So we will be looking through an example of Knutson Lumber, one of our US-based Pointy retailers, and how their products appear on the See What's in Store module on their business profile. So a shopper searches for the store name, Knutson Lumber. Similarly, they could have searched, for hardware store near me, for example. Then they are presented with this page, where on the right-hand side there, you can see their Knutson Lumber's business profile. So, to go through that just ever so slightly, you can see, the name of the store, what options they offer. So you can see there that they have in-store shopping, curbside pickup, and delivery on offer. You can see their address, their opening hours. You can see there the health and safety updates. So, for example, masks are required. The staff will disinfect all surfaces and everything like that. You can also see their phone number. And then if we scroll down, you can now clearly see their See What's in Store module here. And you can see there that the products they stock, and that's just directly on their business profile on Google. So when you're there, you can search for a specific product directly from the business profile. There's a little search bar at the top. And once you've selected the product then, you'll be brought to a Google hosted storefront. And there you can see, again, all the important information about the product, price, stock estimation, the picture of the product, everything that you might need. And again, importantly, they will be able to get directions to the store to complete the purchase. So that's the big one, really. This is pushing, we want to drive traffic into the physical stores. So we want people to be able to see, oh yeah, they have exactly what I need. There's the directions. I can either walk or, drive, whatever I need to do, and I can pick that up right now. So here we have another testimonial from one of our Pointy retailers, Harley McIntyre, and he specifically calls out the See What's in Store module. So here's what he had to say. He says, literally every week I see new customers that found us on Google through the Google See What's in Store link. So this integration, including the way the search results are presented, make it look like I have an IT staff when in fact it's automatic. We now have regular customers that travel more than 1 hour each way to get specific products that they know we carry. I estimate that our pet food sales, specifically the high-end product lines, have increased 30% since the implementation of Pointy. So you can see there the impact that this has had on Harley's store. So hopefully now with the launch in Ireland, you'll all see a similar impact for your own stores. Now, the final place where products can show up is a little bit different. So, as retailers, you may already promote your products in lots of different ways, such as maybe on the radio, in the newspaper, on social media. And on that, really, we also have an optional paid premium feature of the Pointy service, and this is called product ads. So this means that you can pay to promote your products in Google search results. One thing I just wanted to note here is you're not in any way required to run these ads for the Pointy service to work. So the core service, again, you've seen the Pointy page, you've seen your products on the business profile on Google. This here, the product ads, they are simply just an extra promotional option, and this could just give your store even more visibility online. So there's two different types of ads. The first are called local inventory ads. And these local inventory ads are highly visual, intent-based ads that show up prominently on Google for product searches. So an example there you can see on the slide is cat toy near me. And you can see there the ads appearing prominently at the top. So again, like the See What's in Store module, these local inventory ads are launching very soon in Ireland. So it's a new feature again for our Irish retailers. And just to call out here, the Pointy is just one of several different ways that you have of advertising your products. And shopping ads can be used with any comparison shopping service that you might work with. So firstly, let's talk through what exactly these ads are. So as I mentioned, local inventory ads are very visual product ads that show the name of the product and image and useful store information. So one big thing to note about local inventory ads is that they are only available for retailers with a physical store. So only retailers with a brick and mortar store can use these ads. So in that way, you can imagine you won't be competing with big e-commerce giants. And again, these ads are intended to bring more people into your store. And thus, that's going to bridge the gap between online and offline. So shoppers can start their search on a device and then be directed to a nearby store to purchase the product. In all honesty, the first thing I do when I want to purchase a product is a quick search for where it might be available nearby. So, whether it's an ingredient for a recipe that I already have cooking, so I need it ASAP, or indeed I'm just being one of those impatient shoppers, as we mentioned earlier in the presentation, and I just don't want to wait a week for it to be delivered to my home. If I can see that the item is available nearby, I will very happily go out and get it there. And again, this brings back that whole thought of instant gratification. So these ads allow you to get your products in front of more shoppers that are similar to me. So these ads, they're particularly useful for that, as they can show a little annotation that says how far you are from the product. So you can only imagine how helpful that is for shoppers. With Pointy, there's no need to set up any bidding strategies, keywords, or anything like that. We do all of that on your behalf. You will have access to your very own Pointy dashboard, and here you'll have all the stats and data, and I will show you that just after this. And just one thing to note is that the ads are charged at a pay per click basis. So not to state the obvious, but that just means that only when someone physically clicks into the ad do you pay for it. So someone just purely seeing your ads and searches, you don't have to pay for. And as well, Pointy will come with a €100 voucher to try out these ads. So this will just let you, test out what settings work for your store. So as I mentioned, LIA, or local inventory ads, it is a new feature to Ireland. It's currently in beta launch, so we're very excited to see it go fully live. And again, you do have the ability to set up these ads yourselves via the Merchant Center. However, just Pointy just provides a much easier way of setting them up. So to go to the setup just quickly, if you do decide to run them, all you have to do is upload a spreadsheet to Pointy with your UPC barcodes and your pricing. So as I mentioned, for the See What's in Store feature, you can either choose to show your pricing or not. However, with these local inventory ads, you do have to display prices. But it's a very easy process. So on your Pointy dashboard, as I'll show you later, it's a drag and drop situation, really. Like once you have the spreadsheet there, you just drag and drop it, and that'll update on our end. So that's the first step. But for those of you who might be using a point of sale who is integrated with Pointy, this step will be done automatically for you. Then ads are automatically created for every product in stock and shown to people who are searching for these items. So on your end, all you have to do is set the daily budget and the distance around the store that you want the ads to run, and you're good to go. So again, that's what I was mentioning with the $100 voucher or €100 voucher that you're going to get. You can, play around with those settings. So whether you want to target 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers around the store, you'll be able to try those out with that voucher. And then I suppose just one common misconception that we have seen is that people often think it's just very, very expensive to run these ads. But through Pointy, you can set your budget to as little as €3 a day, and you can start and stop the ads whenever you like. It's just one click of a button on your dashboard. So again, let's go back to Knutson Lumber, our US-based retailer that we looked at before, and let's see them, how they show up in a search result for a product that they stock using these local inventory ads. So again, a shopper is searching for Black & Decker drill in Ellensburg in Washington. And here you can see the screen that they are presented with. And there you can see Knutson Lumber's local inventory ad appearing third from the left with the name of the store, the in-store annotation, along with the price of the product. So these local inventory ads show to users when the item they want is available in a local store. And they, again, they show the in-store annotation or a distance to the closest store. So that really helps consumers to make their purchase decision. Again, when you click an ad, you are directed to a Google hosted storefront. Again, there's absolutely no work needed on your end to set any of this up. It's very similar, when they find your products on the See What's in Store module, it's the same kind of thing. So here again, they can see price, stock estimation, store information like your phone number, and not to sound like a broken record, but the most important is that they can get directions and they can come to the store to complete the purchase. So where exactly can these ads show up? So they can show up in Google search results, as we saw in the example, and they can also show in image searches too. So while we do recommend using local inventory ads, if you don't want to show your prices, then text-based product ads are a good alternative. So they're much the same as the local inventory ads, but they just don't show an image. So you can see an ad preview here on the screen for Jaffa Cakes in Hoth, and clicking on one of these ads will bring you to the store's Pointy page. So if you remember back to when we looked at Feely's Total Health Pharmacy Pointy page, by clicking on one of these text-based ads, it will bring you to that Pointy page. So again, I have mentioned the dashboard a few times, so I just wanted to show you it up close. So everyone who signs up to Pointy will get access to their own personal retailer dashboard. And on here, you can see useful information such as the amount of products currently are on Pointy, Google search impressions, and the amount of visits that you've had to your page. Similarly, if you do choose to run ads, you'll be able to see data on how your ads are performing on this dashboard as well. So here you can see things such as, the number of people who saw your ads, your most popular items, as well as the actual searches that led to your store. And all of this is presented in a very easily understood and digestible way. Pointy was built as we knew, we know that retailers are incredibly busy people. They often wear many different hats. So we wanted you to be able to click in and see all the information that you need. Here again, you can just see a close-up image of exactly what will be visible on your dashboard. So as you can see, you can choose the time range for the data shown, whether that's the last 7 days or the last 30 days, it's entirely up to you. And you'll be able to see how many people saw your ads, the number of people who clicked on an ad, the number of ads running, and again, the cost. So you can see the exact products the people were searching for and the searches that led them to see your ads. So I guess these are just analytics that you may not have had about your store before, and they can prove very valuable. I'm often speaking to our retailers, and recently one of our stores said that they bring these results to their buying meetings because it shows them the items that shoppers are looking for, and therefore they may want to increase their stock on these items. But everyone uses this data slightly differently to suit their own needs. That's just one example of how a store uses it. So as you've probably been able to tell, I do like to use our testimonials or case studies just to illustrate exactly how Pointy benefits our retailers. It's well and good for me to tell you the benefits. However, it is much more powerful coming from one of our retailers who's using the service day in and day out. So here's one from a store in Wales. So Health and Food, they have been using Pointy for 3 years. So Katerina and her co-owner Colin and Mojo, their dog, they were first-time shopkeepers who had worked in the music business previously. And now they're well established in their small town in Wales. Katerina joined Pointy in 2018, and she uses it as a way to increase their product's reach. So she has a budget of £5 a day for local inventory ads. And as you can see here, she has over 1,200 products uploaded to Google and a very impressive 1.5 million Google search impressions. So what she had to say was that Pointy has been a massive help to us in this past year. It seems lockdown has people turned both to the internet and to local shops at the same time. So being able to have a product-led Google presence has really increased footfall for us and people generally knowing that we are here. As a food shop, we've been able to stay open throughout lockdown, and having Pointy in place already has been one of the many serendipitous details that has helped us to do really well out of a difficult situation. So I suppose having gone over the main benefits and features of Pointy, you might be asking, this all sounds fine, but practically speaking, how does it work? So all you have to do is install Pointy on your point of sale. So this can be done in two ways, as you might remember from the video. So if you're using a traditional point of sale, you can simply get the Pointy box. And this box connects in between your scanner and your point of sale. So as you're scanning items at the register, all we receive is the barcode number back to us, and we can upload those onto Google for you. Or if your point of sale is integrated with Pointy, you can simply just download the app. And then again, you just need to keep scanning your products as normal. So as you sell products, as you scan them at the register, we then receive the barcode number, and we use this to source an image and description to match it and upload it, as I say, onto your Pointy page, as well as onto your business profile on Google. And this then will help shoppers to find the products and information they need to come into your local store to complete this purchase. So I suppose some questions that often come up are, how does Pointy actually work, or does it work for every store? So again, just as I mentioned before, as part of our COVID-19 response, the core Pointy service is available at no charge for all eligible stores in Ireland. And this is up to September the 30th, 2021. And just with the ads, again, as I mentioned, they will be charged at a pay-per-click basis. And so as I said there, it's available at no charge for all eligible stores. And our criteria then for eligibility is one, that you use a wired barcode scanner, or again, that your Pointy or your point of sale, should I say, is integrated with Pointy. And the second thing then is that you must use UPC or manufacturer barcodes, as this is how we source the product information. So you can imagine, if I have a store and I use manufacturer barcodes and I'm scanning them every day at the till, our database should have no trouble to find those products and upload them for you. But for example, if somebody had a store and they either, create their own barcodes, their own store SKUs, and put it over the top of the manufacturer ones, and they're scanning those, our systems just simply won't be able to figure out what those barcodes are in relation to, because they're going to be unique to your store. And the third thing then is that you must have a physical brick and mortar store that people can visit to complete the purchase. So whether your store is waiting for the go ahead to reopen, or your class is essential, now could be a great time to think about increasing your online presence. If you're currently closed, Pointy will surely help you to get your products on Google once you open up again, and as I mentioned, start scanning again as normal. So here is a list of our target verticals. So Pointy works for stores across many different verticals. So we have hardware to homeware, toy store to pet store. And as I mentioned already, all you need is to have a physical store location, use a wired barcode scanner or compatible point of sale, and the products you stock have UPC or manufacturer's barcodes. So to get started, all you have to do is simply go to pointy.com/try to sign up. And yeah,